Hello first grade. So today our learning objective is to paint a watercolor wash using several colors. So what does several mean? Well, it means more than two, but not many. So what's a number that's more than two, but not many more than two? So is it 10? No. 3 is a little bit more than 2, or maybe 4. So I would say when it says several colors, you should use at least 3 or 4 colors on your paper today. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get a blue placemat to go into your work, a water basin, a paint tray, a white paint paper, and on the paper you need to write your name and the day you have art. Day A, day B, day C. You're going to flip your paper over, and the first thing you want to do is get the paint moist. And you want to use colors that are similar in color. So red and orange and yellow are next to each other on the paint tray. You could use some red oranges and yellow oranges over here. These are similar. So when you use colors that are similar, maybe use some blues and purples, blues and violets, or some greens and blues. But what you should be painting is a sunrise or a sunset. And so we looked at a sunrise and a sunset, and was there black in the sky? Was there brown in the sky? Was there white in the sky? No. We saw lots of purples, reds and oranges, even some blues. So first thing you want to do is pick the colors that you're going to use. Remember, you need to use at least 3. You could use maybe 4, and you want to get them wet. So you're going to get your paintbrush in the water, and then you're going to pull the edge of your paintbrush along the edge of the oval so that the water in your paintbrush squeezes out of those bristles and makes a puddle of water on top of the color that you want to use. So I'm going to use yellow, and I'm going to use orange, and I'm going to use red. I'm going to use 3 colors. So after you get your colors wet with a puddle of water on top, you're going to take plain water and you're going to paint it right across the top of your paper. Just plain water. Now, since I'm doing 3 colors, I kind of space out. This is going to be one color, this is going to be the second color, and that leaves me space down for the third. So I'm not putting water over my whole paper, just on the part that I'm going to add my first color. And the first color I'm going to use is yellow because that's a light color, and I don't want to mess it up with a dirty paintbrush or dirty water. So while my water is still clear and my paintbrush is still clean, I'm going to paint yellow first. And I just gently tap the paint with my paintbrush, get a little bit of paint on my paintbrush, and then I pull it side to side horizontally back and forth across my paper. Do not paint up and down vertically. Paint side to side horizontally. And the color can stay light. You don't need to paint it on real dark. And now I'm going to rinse my paintbrush off, add more plain water underneath the yellow. And when you paint today, don't leave any white paper showing. Paint the whole paper. Okay, so now I'm going to do orange. And I'm going to have the orange touch and overlap the yellow a little bit and let those 2 colors kind of blend and mix. The reason I want you to keep the colors similar and the same, like reds, yellows, and oranges next to each other on the paint tray, or blues and greens, or blues, greens, and purples, is because if you pick colors that are across from each other on the paint tray, a lot of them are going to make like an ugly gray-brown color. Yellow and violet, they are complementary colors, and they will make brown. Red and green will make brown. Orange and blue will make brown. So now that I'm done with the orange, I'm getting my paintbrush wet again with clear water, and I'm going to paint the bottom of my paper with plain water. This is what makes a wash, is by painting that plain water so that you get this. See how this paint just kind of bleeds and runs across the paper and runs into the water. That's what we're trying to do, is get those colors to kind of overlap and mix, and get those colors to kind of fade and bleed and run across our paper. So there is my watercolor wash with several colors, more than 2, but not many. And so now I'm going to take this and we're going to put this on the drying rack to dry, and then you're going to get yourself a paper towel. I'm going to use a tissue, but you're going to use a paper towel, and you're going to dry off your placemat before you put it back over by the sink. So you're going to just take this, take a dry paper towel, not a wet one, a dry one, dry off your placemat, get it dry, and then you're going to put your paint tray back in the drawer. I'll grab the water basins and the paintbrush. Okay, first grade, so on day 2, after your sunrise or sunset watercolor wash is dry, we're gonna add a scene in front of it, and it's called a silhouette scene because you don't see any of the inside details, you only see the outline. It's almost like a shadow. So we looked at some silhouette pictures, and so now here's an example of what one might look like. So I drew palm trees and a beach chair and a beach umbrella and then the beach. And I drew it in pencil first, went over the outline with marker, and then colored them in like they're shadows. And I can still see some of my pencil here, so the very last step you need to do is go back and erase any pencil lines that are poking out. But this is one type of scene you could do. You could do the St. Louis skyline with the arch. You could do a cityscape. Or, since it's close to Halloween time, you could do a Halloween scene. And I have some how to draw sheets here. And if you look at the top of the how to draw sheet, you can see that they each have a silhouette scene shown. So you can use these how to draw sheets to do a Halloween silhouette scene if you'd like. So for instance, a how to draw sheet shows you step by step by step on what to do. And how this one works is down here at the bottom, it shows you the elements that you're going to. So we're going to use the letter M, 2 letter O's, and 2 dots. And that's where you start. You see the letter M at the top, the 2 O's, and then the 2 dots. Then we're moving on and adding a big upside down V to create eventually a bat. Here, this is step 1 all the way through, then all the way down here to here. You know you've reached the end when you reach the character that's colored in black. We've got Frankenstein driving a car. We have Frankenstein here walking, either looking forward with his arms or looking straight ahead, and a smile. On this one we have a wicked witch flying on a broom, or a wicked witch on a rocket ship, or just a wicked witch with her broom standing. Got a black cat, 2 different kinds of black cats. So there are lots of things for you to choose from these packets. Whatever you'd like. And you can draw your little scene across your sunrise or sunset. So I'm going to start with my pencil, and I'm going to pick a character. But the first thing I'm going to do is draw the ground. So you can see, like on this silhouette scene, there's a wavy ground, and then it looks like maybe there's some tombstones. And then this one's very similar, and it looks like some grass. And then this one's just a total sky scene. So if you don't want to do the ground down here and you just want to do witches and bats flying in the air, then you don't have to do the ground. And I think I'm going to do the ground. And I'm going to draw just kind of a wavy line across. And then I'll use my black marker to trace that line. And then I'm going to add some grass. And now I need to color this in. Now to color it in with this tiny tipped marker might take a while. So you might want to get like a chisel tip marker that has a nice fat tip to it and use the side of it to color this in. Okay, now I want you to make sure you use a juicy marker that works. So if you get any markers that are kind of grayish, please throw them away. Only use good markers. So now I think I'm going to put a witch flying on her broom. So if I follow the steps, I start with a triangle, and then a rectangle, and then a long line, the nose, another triangle for the jaw. Now I'm on this step here with the hands or the arms. And they're just made up shapes and lines. So this how to draw packet tries to make it as easy as possible by just using shapes and lines. Okay, so I didn't make this hand go down far enough because it should be holding the broom. So I need to erase that. And this is why we draw it in pencil first, so we can make it the way we want. Okay, and the last step is to color it in. So I'm going to use my small fine tip Sharpie to color this in nice and neat. Okay, so there's my witch flying in the sky. And I drew her pretty big because if I draw my items pretty big, then I don't have to draw very many of them. But if I draw all my little Halloween character small and tiny, then I have to draw more to fill the space up. So I think now I'm going to do a skeleton who's dancing. Okay, so that one I drew without drawing in pencil first. So if I had made a mistake, I would have had to make it work. So that's why I suggest you draw it in pencil first so you can erase if you made a mistake. And on my witch, I did make a mistake with my hand. And I didn't make it big enough, so I was glad that I had drawn it in pencil first. All right, and then you're just going to keep drawing things, either from the Halloween packet or whatever scene that you want to draw. You're just going to keep drawing those over and over and over again until you fill the space. So you're going to keep adding stuff until your whole sunrise or sunset is filled up and you have a nice silhouette scene of your choice.